Can we finish out with somebody who's really enjoying everything, really enjoying it? It feels he's never felt more secure than he does now about how things are going. Chat room, by the way, don't forget to hit that like, share the show, etc., etc., etc. If you're on Substack, I'm on Substack. You should subscribe to my Substack. Yeah, and you don't even have to do it. I don't put anything behind a paywall. If you want to support, you can, but I don't charge for any of my shit. I don't put anything behind a paywall because the ideas are important and the conversation is important. And so that's why I think our Patreon people and our Substack subscribers and our members on YouTube, for example, the people who consistently support the show are even greater than the members and supporters on other shows because they do it for an extra hour of show behind the scenes or some hidden nonsense. Fuck that. You guys help us spread the message. The whole point is that we speak openly about this stuff. And speaking of, yes, it's him. That's right. It's the most miserable man on the internet, ladies and gentlemen, Greg Kelly. And I got to say, he's got the face on right now. Just saying. I got to get my nut picture back because Jesus. Okay, so he goes, Signal group chat was a setup for the Trump administration. A setup. Sorry. You do realize if you can be set up by some shit like that, you're a fucking moron? A setup. So Hegseth isn't responsible. It was sabotage, and he was too dumb to see it?
Gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh! Somebody saw a text message. Washington, D.C. is losing its mind. They should relax.
Okay. This must be before the other stuff came out.
Relax. This Signal Gate thing is not a big deal at all.
Yeah, look at that. Relax, everybody. It's not a big deal, and especially the day after I say this, it won't be worse.
And actually, I think I can make a very good case that this was Democrat Party sabotage. Absolutely.
Oh, great. This I love. So, sorry. So the Democrats, who apparently the gang that couldn't shoot straight or losers and suckers themselves, can't figure, couldn't fight their way out of a wet paper bag, managed to fucking hack their way into the app these guys were using, and it worked. Again, if you diminish your opponent and then you lose to your opponent or your opponent bests you, it's even worse.
Absolutely. I've got the receipts.
All right, receipts. This is not going to prove that Democrats snuck him into the chat.
They like to say.
And made Hegseth copy and paste war plans from a secure site to an unsecure site.
It's circumstantial, but it's pretty.
No shit. It's circumstantial.
Suspicious. All right. First, a couple of things. The mission against the Houthis was and is a
the mission
success. Okay. The Biden administration wouldn't do what needed to be done. This is effective. That is the headline.
The Houthis still have missiles and the ability to fire them, even if you killed the guy that either buys, sells, or targets or something. Again, their head missileer, he was the fucking mechanic on these goddamn things, and you don't think they've got a second in line?
And lost in all of this. We also have a momentum for peace throughout the world. How about that?
Yes, nothing says momentum for peace like bombing civilian blocks in Houthi-controlled areas of Yemen.
Change and prosperity at home.
Prices are falling.
Going down, and the money keeps coming in. It is now over $3 trillion with Schneider Electric putting in $700 million, and on and on and on it goes.
Yeah, I mean, don't you feel rich already? What's wrong with you guys?
This is really good stuff.
Yes, this is great. And there's going to be peace any second now. Hold on. There is, Greg, there is a bit of a hitch in your get along, my friend. Trump 2 months. About a month ago. How long is this? Let's see. Yeah, I don't have the date on this particular guy. Yeah, March 19th or whatever. This is after it went out. About a month ago, Trump sent a letter to Khomeini that if he doesn't do a nuclear deal, which, by the way, I don't know if you remember, but we had one, and then Trump blew the deal, and the Iranians are they're reticent to get back into a deal because for some reason they feel like they can't trust the Trump administration. I don't know what the fuck. So a month ago, he gave them a 2-month deadline that they need to make a deal. And yeah, according to the International Atomic Energy Agency, the Iranians' stockpile of 60% enriched uranium is enough for 6 nuclear bombs if they enrich it to 90%. So that's where that whole, like, they're 3 months away business comes from. Okay. Iran has denied it's pursuing them, and there's an argument for that. So Trump said, let's see, he revealed that he sent the letter directly to see if they find this actual thing. Said he sent the letter. I want to see the actual quote. Yeah, here you go. This is what he said in it. 2-month deadline. Peace breaking out all over the world. Jimmy Dore's hero, the man who will end all the endless wars. Hi. We are down to final strokes with Iran. What could make you feel better than this motherfucker talking about world peace like it's a golf game? That, by the way, he can pretend he won like a fucking club championship, his last. We are down to the final moments. We can't let them have a nuclear weapon. Something is going to happen very soon. I would rather have a peace deal than the other option, but the other option will solve the problem. This is a quote about the letter. We haven't seen the content of the letter itself, but this is what he said about the letter that they sent. Khomeini said he does not support direct talks with the Trump administration because he doesn't trust the U.S. I don't know why. I can't imagine. Oh, right, because the guy currently running the place is the guy who broke the deal they already had that was working. The president said he supports dialogue with the United States, but will follow Khomeini's advice. So, doesn't fucking matter. We had a deal starting in 2009, and then Trump scuttled it. So, anyways, peace breaking out all over the place.
Country, okay? He is strong.
Okay, so everything's awesome. He's strong. You're happy. Everything is working out great. Prices are going down with in an uppish way.
He is successful. This is working out, making good on all of his campaign promises. This doesn't compute in Washington, D.C., not at all. So I will address Signalgate, but again.
Yeah, he was going to address it, guys. Settle down. Relax.
Remember, relax, okay? First of all, you know who's really good at losing secrets and stealing them, actually? Democrats. Who remembers Sandy Berger, Bill Clinton's national security advisor, who stuffed top secret documents, yes, in his underpants, walked out?
Well, I think the chances of somebody, and by the way, nobody invited Jeffrey Goldberg into Sandy Berger's underpants.
National Archives with secret stuff that he.
Yes, apparently one of the secrets were, and this is coded language. If you clearly. Oh, thank you for the Venmo.
Bad.
That's sweet.
He was convicted of a crime. He was caught sticking this stuff in his underpants.
Yes, and he was convicted of a crime, as you should be. Now do Pete Hegseth, you dipshit.
It was all, of course, handled very discreetly by the Washington, D.C. establishment. You see, Sandy Berger, well, he went to Yale, and he's one of our own. And he's a friend of Bill Clinton. May he rest in peace. He died a few years ago. Also, do you remember this? The Central Intelligence Agency director under Bill Clinton, a guy named Deutch, kept all of the secret stuff on his home computer, which was a Commodore 64, which was
so is cutting edge.
Totally obsolete, even by the time.
And was not hooked up to the internet.
He had it in 1993.
The Commodore 64 was not obsolete in 1993.
Reams and reams, or megadots, megagites.
Megagites. Yeah, that's yeah, that's how you say it. Megagites. I bet you say GIF too, don't you, you weirdo? Megagites? Have you ever thought of consulting Bill O'Reilly on technical language? Yeah, 100 smegs.
Bytes, whatever they call it, on floppy disks, old-fashioned floppy disks.
Yes, it was 1993.
He got caught. He was in trouble. It was, even for the swamp, even for one of their own, it was kind of a big deal. And
right. They treated it like you should treat it. Okay, so far, so fucking good, dummy. So what you're saying is Democrats do this occasionally, and when they do, they get caught and there are ramifications. The last guy went to fucking jail, and this guy got in trouble too. Please proceed.
I think that's worthy of pointing out, putting things a little bit.
Yes, I agree. Especially the part where they paid a price for it.
Context. And how about Bush and Cheney?
Hold on. How about Bush and Cheney? They're in your party. I don't care. John Deutch. Let's see. Top secret. Hey, look at that. There was a whole FBI investigation. Has anybody thought of passing this along to Kash Patel, maybe? Improper handling of classified information by John M. Deutch. There's the whole fucking story, kids. Okay. Questions presented. Why was Deutch issued government computers configured for unclassified use, and were his computer systems appropriately marked as unclassified? Why was Deutch permitted to retain government computers after resigning as DSI? Okay, so this is after he left office. What information was found on Deutsch's magnetic media? How was the classified material discovered? What steps were taken? These are the questions presented. What vulnerabilities may have allowed the hostile exploitation of Deutsch's unprotected computer media? What was the electronic vulnerability of the magnetic media? It was a lot less than it is now. That's for fucking sure. Chronology of significant events. Okay. Deutsch establishes internet access via an ISP January 1st. Deutsch sworn in as DCI. Earliest classified document later recovered by technical exploitation team was June 15th of the same year, after May 10th. Didn't take him long. August 1st, Deutsch receives a briefing on computer attacks. Deutsch requests that he be able to retain computers after he leaves office. December 5th, signs a no-fee consulting contract permitting him to retain government computers. Deutsch's last day as DCI. Classified information found on Deutsch's computer in Bethesda, Maryland. Slotkin and O'Neill notified. Slotkin notifies tenant within a day. O'Neill informs Deutsch of discovery. 4 PCM CIA cards retrieved from Deutsch and given to O'Neill. Wow, PCM CIA cards. Isn't sweet. High tech. Hard drive from Deutsch's Maryland computer retrieved. This is by December 27th. Same fucking year. Chief DCI administration informs IG hits discovery at Deutsch's restaurant. Hard drives from residents given to O'Neill. 1997, January 6th. OPS SIB initiates investigation on Deutsch. GC and the OPS legal advisor discuss issues of crimes report. Yeah, they kind of did it. Findings. Here's what they found. This is way more than fucking Kash Patel has done. And by the way, I guess under Trump, the special prosecutor that went after him that they used would have been illegal and he would be scot-free. Okay, here's the conclusions. Former DCI, John Deutch, was specifically informed that he was not authorized to process classified, process, I guess, process, sure, either. Classified information on government computers configured for unclassified use. Throughout his tenure, he intentionally processed on those computers large volumes of highly classified information to include top secret code word material. Because Deutsch's computers configured for unclassified material had connections to the internet, all classified information on those computers was at risk of compromise. Whether any of the information was stolen or compromised remains unknown. August 1st, 1995, he was made aware that his computers with internet connectivity were vulnerable to attack. Despite this knowledge, he continued his practice of processing highly classified material. What an asshole. Information developed during the investigation supports the conclusion that Deutch knew classified information retained on the hard drives of his computer, even after he saved text to external storage drives and deleted the information. Deutch misused U.S. government computers by making extensive personal use of them. Further, he took no steps to restrict unauthorized persons from using government computers located at his residence. Recommendations. Deutsch's continued suitability for access for classified information should be reviewed immediately, meaning cut off. The accountability of current and former agency officials, including Deutch, for their actions and performance in connection with this should be determined by an appropriate panel. All appropriate agency and intelligence community components should be informed in writing of the sensitive information Deutch stored in his unclassified computers so that responsible authorities can take any actions that would minimize damage from possible compromise of those materials. This sounds like a lot of adulting, you dumb motherfucker.
If they didn't like the intelligence and that they weren't leaking it, which they did, they lied about it, right? Weapons of mass destruction. We know they're in there in Iraq. Just get the paperwork that says so. Just get the paperwork that says so. And we went.
Yeah, I voted against these assholes. Right. Did they go to jail for it? No. The Democrats did.
War in Iraq for a weapons of mass destruction program that wasn't. They did not have an active weapons of mass destruction, no nuclear, biological, or chemical warfare labs, and yet we went to war. And these guys were leaking stuff.
Yeah, I know. I voted against them twice, and I participated in marches against this. So why do I have to suck it up when Trump does this shit? Why, if I said at the time, fuck this, if I respond to the other stuff that the Democrats, by the way, my fellow Democrats who served in office prosecuted the people who did this kind of shit, why do we have to look the other way when Trump does it all of a sudden? You're not making a very good case, Greg.
All the time, illegally, I believe. I mean, take a look at this. President Bush authorized an aide to disclose classified intelligence on Iraqi weapons.
Then he declassified it, and the president has the ability to authorize its release, stupid. Sorry, do you want to go relitigate all the fucking classified documents at Mar-a-Lago, dipshit?
The thing is, everybody does it in D.C. Listen to this, that President Bush authorized an aide to disclose classified intelligence on Iraqi weapons comes as no shock to official Washington. The leaking of secrets has long been a favored tool of policy debate, political combat, and diplomatic one-upsmanship.
Okay, Greg, you're quoting the New York Times. That's an opinion of the New York Times, one I happen to agree with, but you shit on the New York Times and the legacy media all the time, and you call them criminal and the enemy of the people, and you support Trump in calling this, and then you freely quote their opinion about stuff that happened under Bush all the fucking sudden. And again, in a lead up to apparently tell us all that what Trump's team is doing, which is equal or worse than this, is nothing.
Right? Everything is worse, though, when President Trump is involved, right? It's got to be a scandal. I can't believe that when Joe Biden, you compare the text message going to one guy.
Hey, asshole, what's in that box? Quote me one fucking story in that box. What's in it? What is it? What war plan's in that box? There are multiple stories. There was a full investigation. Trump could go look at it. How about this? Trump can actually go and look at the files on when they searched the fucking garage and find out exactly what was in that box.
Received it to the decades and decades of classified stuff in Joe Biden's garage, in his garage, right? Behind the Corvette. We all saw it. All that.
No, we didn't. We saw file boxes. We didn't see it. We did not. And at no point is there a thing where Shit, he walked in there and he took a reporter and he was leafing through it with a reporter with Sean fucking Hannity.
Stuff, and the FBI found it. And when it actually became news, and Joe Biden was just as indignant and weird as he's always been. How dare you question me? Watch.
Classified material next to your Corvette. What were you thinking?
Let me, I'm going to get a chance to speak on all this, God willing, soon. But as I said earlier this week, people, and by the way, my Corvette's in a locked garage, okay? So it's not like you're sitting out in the street.
So
but anyway,
was in a locked garage.
Yes, as well as my Corvette.
It's so sick what he just said there, right?
Yeah, it's gross. Yeah. I personally, I almost lost my erection. How you holding up, Greg, after you saw that? I mean, you're lucky you can't even get an erection in the first place. So,
and he said President Trump and how could anybody be so careless? But what I find sick there, he's actually,
yeah, Biden's house is private. Biden's family has Secret Service protection and clearance around them, so they're basically observed at all fucking times. Mar-a-Lago is an event space. It's not a house. Anybody there could walk into the shitter next to the storage room. Anybody there could walk into the fucking little ballroom where he put stuff on the goddamn stage.
braggy about the Corvette. Like, I got a Corvette, right? Just like,
yeah, it's a cool car.
he was in high school and he always had a new car because his dad owned the dealership. When Democrats mess around with
He drove the demos, dummy. He didn't get to have it.
it's considered cute. It's considered part of the art of Washington.
Talk to 100 people, countless documents. You have details of some 40 meetings with the president and his advisors. Were people just eager to talk?
The beginning of the project, one of the president's top advisors said to me, "You're not going to find many deep throats around here." And by the end of the process, he was reading his own notes of the top secret meetings.
That's a crime. That's a crime. But it's cute when Bob Woodward does it. And something tells.
Also, what are we even talking about there? Was that something under the Bush administration? This is in 2010.
Me that there were a lot of deep throats in the Obama administration, probably the Biden administration too.
Huh?
No, for sure. But the attack on the Houthi.
Yeah, you don't know for sure. That's true. Yeah. And granted, look, what's a deep throat, but somebody who knows about stuff behind the scenes and is willing to share it. And Greg, you can't even hold a conversation with someone that has access to information of any worth, including Trump.
Was effective and necessary, okay? And
right, but was it necessary to share the plan on an open signal group before it happened, not knowing that there was a reporter present?
it was flawless in its execution.
No, it was not. Also, the execution part of it would not have been flawless if that information got out. We would have lost soldiers.
Tonight, smoke rising over Yemen's capital after the U.S. launches large-scale strikes against Iranian-backed Houthi militants. So far, the largest and most significant military action of President Trump's second term. Trump saying the Houthis have waged an unrelenting campaign of piracy, violence, and terrorism against American and other ships, aircraft, and drones. We will use overwhelming lethal force until we have achieved our objective.
And that force will arrive in 2 hours. So pack your shit and move out of the way, guys.
Officials tell ABC News the air and naval strikes hit radars, air defenses, and missile and drone systems.
All right.
And civilian buildings, apparently. We now know that. That wasn't included in it, was it? The stuff we found out in the signal group is not what we're finding out in that story, is it?
Nice job.
Right. Hashtag no new wars.
Some of these operations are continuing, are ongoing.
Sorry, what? Hold on. What part of this, as far as the nice job part of it, do you think Trump had anything to do with? He wasn't like flying one of the planes by remote, you dumb motherfucker. Of course the military can carry out whatever plan they're given. They're incredibly capable. But we've had our aircraft shot down by the Houthis before. We've lost soldiers over this shit already.
All right. So when they were planning for this stuff, well...
Also, where is this whole like Dem shit where they let him in? Is that where we're getting to? Are we finally, after all this time? Greg, psst, wrap it up.
All right. I'm not going to say these text messages should be in the public domain, but they are. And here...
Yeah, meaning they shouldn't be.
Are from the Secretary of Defense, and he's outlining the plan of attack. And some of this...
Right. And do you think he hand-typed that, or did he copy and paste it, which would be illegal?
Is actually pretty specific. I think we have...
Yes, actually pretty specific would be another way to talk about battle plans.
Down so we can see him. He's updating the Vice President, the Secretary of State, a lot of other people. Gives a weather...
On an open source app you can download from the Apple Store.
We're launching the F-18s at 12:15. All right.
By the way, this was posted before 12:15 Eastern Time.
Please. Another wave at 13:45. And it goes on like this. These are pretty specific with the weapon systems involved. You know, we know where the Houthis are. It's called the Houthi group. This is all very, very specific. And
right. So if you know if the area isn't even necessary, if they just know when it's coming, that's all they need. They can just bug the fuck out.
Not the kind of stuff that you want in the public domain. All right.
Right. Okay. So far, so good, Greg.
But there's something really sinister going on. And I think all of these guys were kind of the victim of a cybercrime perpetrated by the Biden administration.
I see. They made the Signal app so enticing. How can you say no? It's like those gays and their agenda. You know what I mean? They're all gay in front of you. And how do you not just go gay? You know what I mean? Obviously they think you're born with it, but obviously if you stare at it long enough, it starts to look really good. And,
no, maybe that sounds crazy to some in the fake news, but let me make my case.
Yes, well, as king of the fake news, I'm kidding. He's not king of the fake news. Did they have a jester?
An organization in the federal government called CISA, right? John F. Kennedy, I'm sorry.
Oh, yeah, the CISA. Hold on. Yeah, I think that sounds familiar. Hold on. Let's see. CISA. The Cybersecurity Infrastructure Security Agency. Yeah, okay, so he cut the funding for CISA. Okay. Yeah, and this is their revenge.
Robert F. Kennedy says that this group is essentially a censorship group. And they did a lot of things to undermine the Trump administration. Now, it was December 18th of 2024 that they put out this memo. It was right during the transition, okay? And it struck me as odd at the time. They warned about China hacking into government phones. Go ahead and put that up, please. The next. The Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency, CISA, has identified cyber espionage activity by People's Republic of China, okay, government-affiliated threat actors targeting commercial telecommunications infrastructure.
Right. Private phones you buy on your own.
Okay. Got that, everybody? China is trying to hack phones.
Right. And they were.
So what does CISA do? What do they advise the government to do? It's a government agency, and they tell everybody to do the following. You need to, next slide, please. Let me continue. This guidance specifically addresses highly targeted individuals who are in senior government or senior political positions.
My God. They're now going after the people who know a lot. Yes, legasp. How? Sorry. I thought they were getting enough information just from the average citizenry.
And likely to possess information of interest to these threat actors.
Brilliant. That is. You worked all day on that, did you, Sam?
What do we do? Next, please. Adopt a free messaging application for secure communications that guarantees end-to-end encryption, such as Signal or similar apps. They're advising these top-level officials who are handling very sensitive information.
Yeah, for their own private lives.
Go to Signal. And they didn't do it years ago. They did it in December when there's an incoming administration. I said at the time, folks,
they were already using Signal. They all already had it on their phone.
This is weird. I do not trust CISA. They played all kinds of games in 2020. I went on television that night, December 18th, 2024, and said, folks, this is wrong. And now I know it's wrong. I want to show you how this stuff works, because they're supposed to preserve messages for freedom of information requests. Watch what happens to my message after I send it. Goes away. The government.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, that's exactly why the Trump administration chose to use it. That's why they already use it. Derp.
Wants their messages to disappear. And I find that very suspicious, don't you?
Yeah. I mean, the short-term stuff for replacing regular text messages so they don't stay in the chain in case you drop your phone and somebody can just hack their way into it and use your regular, they might not be able to hack the to and fro between you and somebody else, but it erases it from the actual site. Now, you could preserve it on a third party, which is what you're supposed to do in the government. So even if it disappears on your phone, it doesn't disappear on the server that the government uses. But even still, this is exactly why Trump's team loves this.
The government is recommending this app, and they're saying that the Chinese are responsible? Kind of like the...
No, they're not saying the Chinese is responsible. They're saying this is one of the ways that you could protect yourself against Chinese hacking, because you don't just have like long threads of shit just sitting on your phone on Telegram or some other source, or in your DMs on fucking Twitter, dummy.
To be responsible for stuff? I can't prove this yet, but I'm on it. All right. Granted, what I thought at the time was they were giving themselves permission to download the Signal app so they could erase everything, right? All the documents could be erased.
Yeah, that's why the Trump administration likes it.
Now I think it goes a little bit deeper than that. This is a game. You don't tell the government to go to Signal like that during a transition. I think it was to set these...
Especially when the Trump administration and everybody around them already uses Signal.
I think that they did that. CISA, don't trust them, and they struck again. Now, so far, I think the administration's been handling it very well, including the Secretary of
Genius. Yeah, so good.
Defense, Pete Hegseth. Now, some of you may remember, as we see Pete over there on his Asian tour, I was not a strong proponent of Pete getting this job.
Uh-huh. And now that he's going down, you can act like you're now on his side so that you don't have the ramifications of being the guy who went out on the limb.
But once he got it, I said, that's water under the bridge. He has my full and complete support. And if I can ever help, I'm a phone call away. He doesn't need my help. He's got the best people in the world. I don't know anything.
You're so stupid. I'm surprised you weren't added to the chat, Greg.
But I do know this. He's handling this superbly, right?
No, he's not.
This is not ideal, and he doesn't know what I know, or maybe he does about the CISA stuff.
Sorry, you don't know anything, but you know more than he does, and you didn't support him, but now you do because he's surrounded by the smartest people who help him not understand what's going on the way you do. Motherfucker.
But deny everything, admit nothing, and make counter accusations, and tell the truth every step of the way, and that's what he did.
No, he didn't, and that's just Roy Cohn bullshit.
And anybody that knows me for years and knows President Trump knows how much.
They know that you drink, you often cheat on your wives, you have children out of wedlock while you're still married to your previous wife. You're a philanderer and a drunk, and now you've committed the single biggest fuck up since the Pentagon Papers.
Love the Warriors.
Since Snowden, maybe.
That's what it's about. The men and women who serve, who do the tough, difficult, gritty, dirty work that most Americans will never know about, but we have the privilege of seeing and understanding the courage and skill of what they do.
Sorry. Most Americans, first of all, if you've had anybody who's served in your family, you do know. And that's a lot of fucking people. Secondly, they live with it. They don't just do these little fly-ins, do a bunch of push-ups with Navy SEALs, and then get a special pin, and then fuck off to Tokyo.
It neutralizes a lot of critics right off the bat, right? Okay.
No, it doesn't. You sound like a dipshit. You sound like you're diverting attention. Hey, don't attack the soldiers just because I fucked up.
You don't know what we know. You're undermining them if you ask too many questions about this.
What? Is that what he said? Because that didn't sound like anywhere close to what he fucking said. Shit in your ears.
It's clever, it's smart, it's effective.
It's not even what he said. You know what was clever? When they hypnotized you, Greg, so that you just hear whatever the fuck you want.
Next.
Nobody's texting war plans.
Is that because you don't consider Signal texting? You consider it a messaging app? You don't text on there, you message. And that's the distinction you're using, because texting to you is SMS. I did not have sex with that woman, Miss appropriation of classified materials.
I noticed this morning out came something that doesn't look like war plans. And as a matter of fact, they even changed the title to attack plans.
Distinction without a difference, asshole. You're being evasive. If the enemy knows attack plans beforehand, they can move and they can defend themselves and they can kill our soldiers. Fuck you.
Because they know it's not war plans. There's no units, no locations, no routes, no...
There's an automatic route if you know how far away they are and where the ships are. You know the route that they're coming, if you know the timing by which the bombing is going to happen. If they say that if the ships are 2 hours away and the bombing says it's 4 hours, then that means they're not flying directly to target, right? They're using some sort of circuitous route and you may not know which way they're coming. But if they're on a direct flight path and you know it takes 2 hours to get there from where you are, you know which direction they're coming from. Period.
Paths, no sources, no...
You'd have a flight path if you know where the ship is and you know where the target is and you know the time to target. If you know that, you know the flight path. Especially if it is at the direct edge of their standard speed. You go, yeah, if you open up the throttle and you fly in and you're at, mission altitude, mission speed, and you're coming in, it's going to take you 2 hours to get here. Then we know exactly where you are and what time you're going to hit. Fuck you.
Methods, no classified information.
It's all classified. Any time of a bombing and the planes involved and the drones involved and the technology involved known before the battle released to civilians when it's not supposed to be is a violation of classified rules. Period. End of story. Stop. The no classified thing is simply because you're either bizarrely declassifying battle strike plans to civilians before they fucking happen, which is bananas, or you're retroactively declassifying them because it already happened and saying it's not classified because it already happened. At the time it would have been, dipshit.
These war plans, I see them every single day. I looked at them this morning.
Yeah, we know. And more than likely you cut and paste them into another signal group for all we know, asshole. Say this under oath. This is, let me tell you something. As evasive and shitty as Gabbard and Ratcliffe were, in those hearings, at least they were under oath, and it's why they were parsing their words. This braggadocious prick can say all this stuff because he's in a fucking bill cap on a tarmac on a party tour of the South China Seas. Because he's in fucking Hawaii on his way to, like, tour bases in Glad Hand. He's not under oath. So he feels free to lie.
All right, it's a bit of a humble brag, but it's effective. Who gets to see this stuff, right? People in power. And this is, I believe, kind of, well...
I'm sorry, Jeffrey Goldberg's in power now. The power of the pen. It is mightier than the sword, Greg.
It just works, all right? And he's being true.
It does not work. He's a prick. No, it doesn't. It's dismissive. It's insulting to the people who have to carry it out. He could have gotten our pilots killed.
At the same time. Next.
My job, as it said atop of that, everybody's seen it now, team update is to provide updates in real time. General updates in real time, keep everybody informed. That's what I did.
Not on an open, publicly available, open source, low security app for messaging. Not on fucking Facebook.
That's my job. The war fighters will take the fight to the enemy, and I love what they do. And with President Trump's leadership, our enemies are on notice. We will have peace through...
Yeah, they are on notice. Thanks to you, you dumb motherfucker. As far as we know, they know when the planes are coming, what kind of weapons they have, how many pilots there are, whether or not it's a drone or an actual living human being in the plane, because of you. You don't support the war fighters by dropping this shit before their attack in an open source app. That's not supporting them. You got lucky. You got lucky that the guy that was let in was on Team America, that he literally didn't want to get these pilots killed. You lucked out, fuckwad. And you endangered the lives of our soldiers, Mr. fucking warfighter. If you care about the warfighters, keep their fucking plans out of your goddamn mouth. Don't use open source apps to discuss where they're going to be in 2.5 hours, especially when it involves warfare and the people they are flying towards have anti-aircraft weapons. No, you don't give a fuck about the war fighters. You don't. At all. Stop it.
And we'll keep putting our troops first.
Yeah, first in line to get blown out of the fucking sky.
Go for it. America first, MAGA. I love it. Now, there's one small critique. At this point, I do believe he should take questions.
Small.
All right, he can handle it. He can run circles around these reporters. You never want to be seen walking away while there are questions still on the table. All right.
Hey, I'll go you one better, dipshit. Greg, how about this? You want to talk about questions that are on the table? How about that beautiful table that's in the middle of the congressional hearing room? How about that? How about he sits down, him and fucking Michael Waltz, next to each other with their goddamn lawyers, because they're gonna need them, and take questions under oath from the Senate and the House. How about you push off your fucking glad-handing fest, wandering around, having breakfast with the troops and taking pictures and handing out promise or challenge coins. Go back to fucking Washington and answer questions under oath. I give a shit about how well or how badly this asshole lies to reporters who are following him on his gaggle. Under oath or fuck off. Jesus Christ. And that's the end of it. That's the tail end of the shit. It's not going away. It's not going away. It can't. Because nobody's going to listen to these assholes. We're going to have another, like, at this point, how do you enforce a Snowden-like breach or that or Texiera, the guy who put all the shit on Discord. How do you enforce that shit as the head of the agency if you're doing this stuff and there's no ramifications? I mean, haven't you just given them the fucking green light? Ugh. Fucking gross. I am personally disgusted. But I'm enjoying the fact that these guys are turd polishing every fucking day. Okay, before I go, and I know I always do this, but okay, hold on. Let me... This, you want to know how I know this is a story with legs? You want to know how I know this is a story with legs? Let's go up here. I'm going to show you. I'm not going to do the clips because there's no point. Shut up. Yeah. There has been, today is the first day that Glenn Beck has covered this story. Let me show you. Hold on. This is, where is it? I just want to see videos. While this has been going on, these are their, and you know how, like, if we could chapter this show out, which we probably should do in the future. So if people want to watch it in chunks through there or whatever, we could do it that way. But, you know, we cut the show up into pieces based on which video I'm using. Thank you, CSL, for the great work that you do. Give it up for CSL. And sometimes I do a whole 2-hour show on, you know, on one fucking clip because there's so much to it, right? But we cut that part of it down. But on Glenn's show and on a lot of the like Daily Wire shows and those kind of things, it's a radio show or a live stream show, and then they slice pieces of it out and they make little clip videos in places instead of just taking the whole hour or whatever, dividing it up. In on Glenn Beck's show, they'll do the almost the hours to the third break as pieces. Let me show you, and then they'll list them as videos. Or they'll have other videos. So they'll take a piece that's a video, and then they put it, that's what they post. And then there's other clips that they kind of put, and they kind of get buried, okay? What happens when you take a clip the way they're doing is that it's technically up, but it's not put up as a separate video, and it kind of drifts into the algorithm. It just falls away, okay? Versus the stuff they want you to see, okay? So let me show you something real quick. I'll put this back here. Shut up. So this is Glenn Beck's YouTube channel. And this is the homepage for it. And you'll see right here, this is the first video he's done. This was 13 hours ago. This is, they posted it 13 hours ago. So it was a piece of yesterday's show. And these are like the big pieces of they're not the videos that are cut. They're like 13, 14 minutes. Okay. It's a specific thing right here. So this is the signal piece of it. Okay. And it's in the For You part because I look directly at this stuff. But when you go to the Glenn Beck program, it's third. It gets buried behind stuff. It just drifts into the transom, as it were. Look at and then when you go to any YouTube page, if you go to the videos page, you'll see that these are the videos they cut out and that they specifically post for people to see. And look at all these. Do you see a story about the signal stuff? They definitely talked about it because they can't not on the radio show, but they carved off all this stuff and made these videos about it. This one was 4 hours ago. This was 7 hours ago. This is a day ago. This is a day ago. This is 2 days ago. Here's 2 days ago. These are the videos they would put up, 2 a day, which is their plan. Seems to be how they do it. They put up 2 a day. These are the latest ones about whatever the biggest topics of the day are. And you'll notice nothing. These are pieces of his interviews on his other show. This is stuff from the show this is where we get some of the clips we talk about, is stuff that he has posted here. Britain needs a Trump, Liz Truss. Then his exposed the worst program uncovered by Doge, whatever. I don't know if that's to presume. This is on his radio show. So it's showing Musk, but I don't think he's an interview on there. JFK, Wolf in Sheep's Clothing, end of NATO, UFOs, Sage Deal, I won't be silenced, 23andMe, you got to get rid of that. Okay, Crockett's Hot Wheels comment, NASA whistleblower, that the moon mission is a $100 billion DEI scam, which doesn't sound like that helps fucking Musk at all, does it? Deep state battle plan, proof Trump was right, whatever. Anna Kasparian being on there 3 months ago. These are the ones that they pick out for me. See what I'm pointing out, though? You get the point? They are fucking stiff-arming this fucking story. That's how you know it's real. That's how you know it's important. And that's how you know we cannot let go of it. And it's going to continue. It will, because Democrats are going to call for more hearings. There is no way Hegseth and Waltz are not going to be called in front of either the Senate or the House at some point. They have to. Otherwise, how do you put somebody in jail for doing something like Snowden did or something like the Teixeira guy did if you let this shit slide? Especially because Hegseth is the one who broke the law, specifically. And he endangered the lives of our troops. And this whole warfighters languaging bullshit should not buy him at like an inch of wiggle room. They don't care about hypocrisy. I agree. But the Republicans that want a future after Trump is gone do, and all the Democrats do. And one of the things we kept seeing is, I want to say, like, was it Megyn Kelly, CSL, that said blood in the water? Kelly, signal blood in the water. Okay, is it there? Yeah. Let's see. I'll find her channel. Hold on.
Hey everyone, I'm Megyn Kelly.
Hey everyone, go away. Outrageous questioning of Hegseth. How dare they? Absurd frenzy, Ziegler's disastrous post. Oh, they ditched it, I guess. Maybe they pulled it down. Yeah, they took the title part of it off. They changed the thumbnail. Why the left are missing the point. Yeah, they had a video up earlier. That's very telling, too. Holy shit. So Megyn Kelly had a video up earlier that said, like, media senses blood in the water. Top media's hacks are dominating Ruthless's hack magnets bracket, whatever, as he brings people on. Gnome's social media. This one, they just put Megyn Kelly, like, generic thing on it. Absurd Signalgate spin. I think this might have been the show where she's talking about they smell blood in the water, and there was a clip of this that had that written in the text like this. Outrageous questioning of Hegseth. How dare someone? Woke's NPR CEO. Yeah. Why the left media are missing the point with their Signalgate spin with ruthless hosts, whatever. So and just lining up to fucking cradle the balls. Left defending gangers. Nope. Okay. Details. Strange details about Signal Group chat. Atlantic Editor got added to. Absurd Jim Crow. Megyn Kelly announces MK Media Network. Great. Yeah. Trump treatment of President Nixon. Yeah, they just dumped it. That, again, that'll tell you that that's all you need, ladies and gentlemen. That's all you need. You want to know this is a real story? They're changing their thumbnails, and people like Bill O'Reilly are being pushed out there to go, it's a nothing. We should get over this. Stop talking about it. No. Hegseth Hegseth is the albatross around Trump's neck right now, and this scandal is the albatross around Hegseth's. This is a fucking human centipede of albatross. Albatross. No, it's not, Chuck Eyes. I got a bloody seabird, don't I? Albatross. So this is how we know they know. This is how we know it's fucked up. It will not be forgotten tomorrow. They want it to be, but it's not gonna be. Because tomorrow, by the way, on Friday, I don't have an afternoon show tomorrow because I got to drive to LA for the for my Flapper show, and Summer and I are going together. I'll be doing radio as normal, but Flapper show tomorrow night for all our Patreon subscribers. I'm also trying to find a way to do it, since I do it for all the levels of the Patreon, to do it for members in YouTube. If I can, I think that I can. I'm trying to work that. Wish me luck. If I could only just live stream straight to fucking Patreon, it'd be easy. But anyways, I will make it happen either way. But tomorrow, our dear friend Rob Glenn is going to be on with us, as is Boy Toy Chris Lavoie is going to be our guest as well. So both of them, I will have talking about Chris Lavoie can talk to you about the Slack I attempted to set up. And of course, I in the Sexy Liberal Comedy Tour virtual show chat, I accidentally added Ted Nugent. I don't know how it happened. I don't know how he got into my phone. He was begging me to perform at the jam night, and I guess that's how it happened. And he got sucked into the phone, and it started to smell. And I threw that phone off a bridge, and because the stench wouldn't go away, and now people won't even use that bridge. And then I got a whole new phone, but I guess it was still in there. I don't know. But he's going to, Chris Lavoie will talk a little bit about that stuff and other things. But also our dear friend Rob Glenn and I will talk a little bit about stuff behind Signal. And of course, how Trump world is running headlong into an AI automation economic wall. And people around Trump, some of them know it. Others are incapable of processing it. And it's going to be a difficult patch for everybody, but worse for them. I butt dialed Ted Nugent. Technically, that's the only way you can call him. And if you don't believe me, ask the other members of Damn Yankees. I get the kidding with the thing and the. You know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about. By the way, sign up on the Substack, the Houseparks Substack Mega Worldwide at houseparks.substack.com. Thank you for following me on Insta. Like, subscribe, give a thumbs up, support the show, etc., etc., etc. I gotta go. I started late, ended late, and there was, okay, there was one more. Damn it! Thanks for the support, everybody. You are the awesome ones.